Nova is one of my first Warframes that I've gotten in the game, and for the longest time I've been using her for slowing down and speeding up enemies. Now, like you guys, with today's build, we're gonna be nuking entire rooms. So, a lot of changes to this Warframe. We have survivability, we have a full nuking, and we have crowd controlling like there is no other. So, all of that, one video, let's quickly get into it. With Koumei and the 5 Fates, Nova has gotten a light rework, and as I said, I've used her for the longest amount of time, but since this update I figured out why not use her for nuking. So let's see what has changed on this Warframe, let's talk about the abilities, the passive, and then let's get into this build. Now, first of all, the passive. Now, enemies that are slowed down give you a 15% chance of dropping health orbs. If they are sped up, they give you energy orbs. So this is very nice, this is very good, this is gonna allow you to sustain your health and also energy. Null Star has been changed down, now it's recastable. You don't stop while casting it, so that's really good. They still seek out enemies and deal damage, but it is much easier to reach 90% damage reduction because you have more particles, more base particles, and the damage reduction is higher at base, so that's very cool. Antimatter Drop is the second ability. What changed here is, now it's more visible, and the most important thing and the key aspect of this ability and this build is that if you press it one more time, it's gonna fly really fast into the direction of where your cursor's at. So this absorbs the damage that you put into it, your base damage, and it converts it into blast damage and also puts on a multiplier. So basically shoot this ball, launch it at enemies, and you're donezo. Wormhole is the third ability. What changed it with this? We have the number of portals, or I guess the number of uses for that certain portal. So that's very cool. I guess you can use it now, but we're gonna change this out for War. This is gonna increase the power strength of our abilities, or the damage of our abilities, and most importantly, the damage of our weapons. So this is why this is here. We have another crowd controlling method through our sort of new companion, but we'll talk about that when we get there. But Molecular Prime has been changed out in a big way. Now, if you tap the ability, you will slow down enemies. If you hold and press it, you will speed them up. This is, I think, one of the best crowd controlling abilities in the game at the moment. Being able to control the flow of the battle the way you want it to is incredibly easy. Also, this makes enemies more vulnerable, which is very good, and this is also gonna allow you to chain more enemies with your Antimatter Drop. I think you guys want to see it, and the build looks like this. We have Brief Respite in the Aura slot, we have Archon Intensify, Stretch, Augur Reach, Streamline, we have Equilibrium, Prime Continuity, Blind Rage, Rolling Guard, we also have Prime Sure-Footed, Arcane Energize, and Molt Augmented. Now, Prime Sure-Footed is not technically necessary, but believe me, you're gonna get knocked around like a little hairy furball if you do not have it. At least have Handspring or something, and it's gonna help you out much more, because the less you're on your ass, the more you're gonna kill enemies' asses, I guess. But Augur Reach is here instead of Cunning Drift, because we do want a little bit of range, and with this, range is mostly important for our Antimatter Drop. We have a little bit of duration to keep up Roar, and shield gating is the most important here. I do not use catalyzing shields because I honestly don't think you need it, but in this situation, the enemies that are trying to kill us are frozen in time, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit of a second. But the Archon shards. We have 2 for casting speed, 1 Tau Forged one, 1 normal one giving me 15% power strength, a Tau Forged red, and then 1 Tau Forged blue and a normal blue giving me 75 and 50 energy respectively. This is where the energy is gonna come in. If you personally think this is too low, upgrade to another blue Archon shard or add in another one instead of the red one. The more important thing that we want to know is the focus school of choice. Madurai. We have Power Transfer giving us 50% casting speed, and then Sling Strength giving us a 40% ability strength on multiple slings. This is going to be incredibly good. More Roar, more Power Strength, more casting speed. With the casting speed from Madurai, you can instantaneously cast abilities with this Warframe and this setup. So everything is just really fast, going at speeds that are incredible. So the primary weapon of choice is going to be the Burst on Prime Incarnate. The Burst on Prime Incarnate is incredibly good, built up on screen right now. the most important thing is you want your base damage, because you're not using Serration, to be as high as possible. So utilize Primary Deadhead or Merciless to gain the most amount of damage, so you can put the most amount of damage inside of your Antimatter Drop. The higher the damage, the bigger the nuke, and you can instantly one-shot everything. Now, do you need to use the Bursten? I would highly recommend. It's not important if it's the base form or is it the incarnate form, you're gonna be doing incredible amounts of damage either way. The good thing about this weapon is if you can't use your abilities, this can kill the Acolyte incredibly easily. So if you're in sticky pickle, this weapon will save you. Secondary and melee is up to you. You can honestly use whatever you would desire. Now, there's probably stronger weapons, but I found out that the Bursten works out the best. So I'm very interested, leave in the comment section down below what weapons would you use. But now, let's come to the Death Cube and Artax setup. Now this is the companion of choice, and this is gonna be my weapon of choice. Why the weapon? Because of the incredibly good fire rate, and this thing applies cold to nearby enemies like it's nothing. With a Duplex Bond, you're gonna be able to clone your Death Cube and freeze everything, every single enemy, and spread that cold status effect to every single enemy around you, basically meaning that you do not need any other form of survivability, because everything next to you is literally frozen. So this setup is basically used for that. Keep in mind you can't really regen energy with this setup, because with the Duplex Bond mod you can't use abilities, so energy generator, switch that out for something else. But how does this build function? How am I supposed to play with this? Let's cover that. First of all, activate your Null Star. First ability always has to be active, 90% damage reduction, we want that. Then, all you need to do is use Molecular Prime, slow them down or speed them up, depending on what you need. For example, speeding them up is going to make them shoot faster as well, so keep that in mind. So keep that pace going, activate Antimatter Drop, activate Roar, and then just go at it. Shoot that ball, throw that ball, and then you nuke everything. And that is how it works. It's not that difficult. Of course, every enemy is going to be frozen next to you. If you need to save yourself, you have Rolling Guard, you have Shield Gating, so survivability shouldn't be an issue, and the weapons you've chosen should be pretty good. If you could possibly use the Bursten, use it, it's going to be very helpful. So, hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, everything in the comment section down below, I would be very interested in hearing on that, and I'll see you guys on the next one. This has been the Gaming Weasel, over and out.